Yes, good morning and what's up people and all those things. Song in the background, what is it now? It is Told You So, and at this point I have to start taking credit, okay? Now let's go back. We haven't spoke. We haven't even talked about the Limelight story and the test that I gave the spiritual guidance, the stock gods, whoever the fuck I blame for whatever goes on in my tragic trading career over the last decade. Nothing can ever make sense to me ever again. This week, and I should have been making videos because people, you wouldn't even believe what has transpired over the last, I mean, we're only talking about Thursday, okay? Now, I haven't mentioned anything yet. I'm not going to tell you the LLNW story, but just let me tell you, the LLNW story is one of the factors when I was talking about how the market was due to sell off is when you have bullshit stories circulating that are driving stocks insane. And now we're going to bring you to the Rhino. Leaving the limelight. Oh, they got this contract. No, they don't have this contract. Oh, they got this contract. No, they don't have that contract. Oh, they do have that contract? I'm not too sure if they have that contract. Oh, let's downgrade the stock. Oh, let's upgrade the stock. Oh, let's just go rip it right back down to and call it a day. And now it's back to where it was, like nothing happened. And basically you could have got ripped. Now I own more shares of Limelight than I want, and I just told you too much about Limelight, but yet I have not told you about why I had sold those calls and the test that I proved to myself, and I'm going to get to that later on. But now we're talking about Rhino, and to you message board so-called analysts, all you due diligence guys that came on, and every time I posted something about doing a straddle, you might not want to stay long the stock, I would tell you. You might want to do some investigation on Chinese scam companies. And we're split on the message boards. There's half of us that say they're scams, like the Heat and the Rhino. And there's the guys that want to defend the Rhino, like you know something, like you're an analyst. You know what? I don't care how smart you are, personally, and if I'm talking to you, feel this. So you crunched some numbers. You did some due diligence. Oh, you read about Rhino in Business Week. Oh, an upgrade. Did you realize the stock had come from 12 and that at 19 and change, that's when the upgrade started to come? Did you realize that? Do you realize that the Chinese is a very difficult language to read? Now, unless you're living in China and you work at Rhino, you don't know shit, pal. You don't know dick. You know nothing. And to tell me that I was saying that how much I hated Rhino or loved Rhino, never did I ever say you want to be going one direction on Rhino. I told you straight up, I am no genius. But what I do know is that you cannot trust any stock. Then again, you cannot trust stocks in China. Baidu is the exception. There's always one. Because Baidu is actually the Chinese currency. I don't know if you're aware of that, but as well, Baidu, every diplomat in China must own Baidu. That's why did what it did. There's always one exception to the rule. That's what keeps you coming back. Oh, I want to find the next Baidu. It's the next Baidu. Oh, the Indian Google, the Chinese Google, this gaming stock. Shut your fucking mouth. Don't tell me you're analyzing Rhino and the future prospects of what they do and their EPS and fundamental analysis of a Chinese company. Huh? Yeah? Really? First of all, the real analysts, not you guys on the message boards, the real analysts got it wrong. We have to go after them now. And they're being sued when a stock, of course, drops 50% in a week. All the class action suits come out. Because in America, if you're proven to be stupid, you sue somebody and blame somebody else for your stupidity. Now, am I a genius? Of course not. Of course I'm not a genius. But what I did is, when I had those $15 straddles, and I made some money on the $15 calls, I lost money on the $15 puts because the stock expired. And then we did the straddle again, and I'm sitting there with options that were down to zero. Next thing I'm selling some at 50 cents, and now I'm selling them at $1. And you know the moral of the fucking story right now, right? The moral of the story is that those options that I sold at 50 cents are worth $5 now. So that's my plight. That's my scenario. Okay, so now let's get to the point about me never shorting stocks again. See, my plan, and as you notice, I'm in the new HitTheBig.com offices, which is now because apparently there's all sorts of SEC problems and regulations that I have to contend with now because I want to try to help you guys real time. I want to give you real time advice and be there telling you what I'm doing, not after the fact, because after the fact I could be making all this shit up, right? Right? I could just be a really enthusiastic actor. I know nothing about the stock market. I've been handed a script, talk about what I need to talk about, and move on. But if we're doing it live, there ain't no way to not timestamp that shit, bitch. Timestamp it. Timestamp it. That's what I say. Now, I know it was in the chat room, and I was suggesting that if Ryan Rhino was to hold a certain level, we want to buy the calls if this thing snaps back, but that never happened, so that trade was not officially done. And I also suggested that you might want to buy some Rhino puts just in case it does go to zero. But that trade wasn't done. So I'm not taking credit for shit. Just the fact that I said what's going on in the Rhino right now is what I said a year ago. But nobody gave a crap about what this guy was saying about how they're a scam company. But apparently, I got to work for Muddy Waters. Maybe I'll change the name to the website to Reality. Reality.com. It's all about what's happening in the real world. Now, I don't know. Right now, what's happening in the stock market is the froth is coming out. Okay? The last guys in are getting beat up. Because if you chase this market, I mean, you're the first one. You chase that market, you're on that sell button as soon as you made a mistake. As soon as you feel like you made a mistake. As soon as that Google's breaking back under 620, you know you're dumping that stock. As much as we said that stock was just going to go clearing right up to 700, you got to be nimble in this market. And that's what I told you, right? Did I tell you to be nimble? You have to be nimble, right? So you might have taken a beat down on the Google, but if you sold where you're instructed to sell, which was if it breaks 618 and change, you had to get out of that stock. And if you were ballsy enough to get short, suddenly you got a 40-point trade on your hands. It's unbelievable. FSLR, the numbers were bad. The stock ran up 40 points out of nowhere. After Kramer downgraded the stock ran up 40 points. And then reality set in, and the stock is coming back down. But we're here now to talk about what's happening. Because all that's happened, now let's take a look at where things are, okay? Let's talk about, all right, so we missed the LVS short. I've been waiting to short that stock forever, and I missed it. So there's a miss for you, okay? So let's go back. I'm going to put on some Carpenters right now just to calm me down a little bit because I'm going to have a heart attack. I have so many stories to tell you. You realize I've been getting myself into trouble, okay? I've been getting myself into trouble because I have nowhere to go. So my wife's not around to tell me what to do. I've been just running around, hanging out with my naughty friends, and I almost got arrested yesterday, and that's all I'm going to talk about. So we got to talk about that Limelight story and my test of the spirit gods of the stock market, me almost getting arrested, and today I'm officially declaring that I'm not going to be smoking the marijuana till probably New Year's. I'm just going to go on a small hiatus just to see how my brain responds to it. And I know I've smoked enough weed and I've done enough stuff in my life where I can just tap into that shit at any time. I think I told you about sometimes when I'm just taking a mad crap, suddenly I'll see like shit floating across the whole place. I'll go out for like 2-3 seconds not knowing where the fuck I am, and then I realize, oh man, I'm taking a shit here. I almost had a stroke or I don't know what's going on. But I can tap into that shit anytime I want. I don't need to do that stuff anymore. But yesterday was all the things in my life came down to this one singular point in time. And man, it is just showing me the light. It is showing me the light. Sing it, baby! Yeah. So anyway, today's day 1 of me not smoking weed. Don't call me a quitter. It's been 6.5 months that I smoked my cigarette. So now if I could just get rid of the caffeine, I think I drink about 6 cups of coffee every day. Apparently at WebMD, they told me I should only drink 2 cups of coffee. But I'm taking vitamins, so that makes up for it, right? Anyway. So now back to where we are and how we're going to make money going forward, all right? So let's look at Rhino at $5.80. At this point, okay, you got to think the stock it's going to test 5, and if it breaks 5, it's going to 250. But at the same situation, you might as well go out and buy some calls too, just in case they come out and they say something that's good. But I'm not even looking at it right now. You know what? If it starts to rally, we'll just day trade it. Right now, it's just the stock could either go to 250, which who the hell cares at this point? Because now the downside is the trade is over. The trade's over. The stock just went from 19 to 6. Really, what are you gonna do? So, and the limelight now is officially a long-term hold. I'm not selling the stock unless it breaks $6. I'm not selling it. I'm not looking at it. I don't give a shit about it. Let's hope it doesn't break 6 so I don't have to sell it for a loss. If not, boom, we're staying in it. And now to the one that we all want to know what's going to happen with the dry ships. The last of the piece of garbage stocks that we have in our portfolio. The last of the heartbreaking stocks that every quarter we think this is going to be the breakout. So now there's so much good news circulating around dry ships that it has to lead me to believe that it's not going to be real. Now, also with the fact that recently all shit and hell has been breaking loose in my life. So the way I look at it, let me tell you exactly what I'm thinking. I'm short DRYS right now, 1,000 shares. Sorry, 500 shares at the moment. Wait, let me just check my goddamn account. I don't want to be inaccurate now. I'm giving you official numbers here. Okay, we are short 1,000 shares of dry ships at $5.36, where it actually happens to be right now. I sold my last long dry ships at $5.50. Then I bought the December 6s and the December 7s calls, that is. So we're hoping for, I guess a big move up would be better than a big move down. My 1,000 short in the dry ships, is it 1,000 or 500? I don't even know. I think I can't even find it right now. Where the fuck is it? Anyway, that's why I try to do this live. I don't even talk numbers half the time. Here's the thing, kids. I'm thinking it goes down. I'm going against myself. Figure that shit out. So if you use the inverse double negative trade situation scenario, platform, system, then you might stay away from the stock. That's what it comes out to be. I like it, yet I think it's going down. I'm buying it, yet I'm short the stock, and I don't know what's going to happen. Therefore, you should stay away. That means maybe you should get involved or stay away. The bottom line, or the final result, will probably happen, obviously, Friday. I think the stock will either get pinned to 5, 550, or 6. I don't think the stock's going to get destroyed anymore, is one benefit. But if you're buying options, obviously you want a big move in the stock. I don't think we're going to get a big move. From all the shit that's been going on, the HGSIs, the Limelights, the Rhinos and the Heats, it's probably just going to sit there and do nothing. So, I don't know. Play that accordingly. Rhino, $5.77. And Heat. Okay, guys, and this is going directly to some guys that were at my old office. I told you when Rhino was getting destroyed, Heat was coming out with earnings, right? Now, whatever they say, if the stock doesn't rally on whatever they say about their earnings, it's just going to be taken down with the Heat. And you guys just don't believe that I know anything at this point yet. No. After predicting the flash crash, I thought maybe that would be your point, just to listen to me blindly. Because I don't know if you're aware of this, but 2 days before the flash crash happened, and all the bulls were skipping around in the office and clapping and yelling about, how the market will never go down again. I was like, we're due. We're due for a 1,000-point pullback any day right now. And one guy wanted to give me a 50-to-1 odds that we won't pull back 1,000 points ever, forever. And he was more crazy than I am with optimism. And then 2 days later, we're down 1,000 points that afternoon. Come on, man. Come on. All right, well, that's 15 minutes of me babbling on. You still got to learn about the Limelight. You got to learn about what not to do when getting pulled over by the cops. This guy will explain what not to do. That's basically what this is all about. I tell you what not to do, and I will save you a lot of grief in your life. In every respect. Marriage, stock market, criminal activities, all that stuff. Come to hitthebid.com where you get it all.
I would much prefer Krull.